In this video, we'll run through the basics of editing a 35mm film scan. Let's get into it. To start off here, we are in Lightroom. I picked this particular negative because I overdeveloped it, and there's some color shifts, so it'll be good practice for that, as well as obviously some overexposure, so we can tone that down. I believe this was shot on Vision 3 200T. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's start with white balance. We'll hit the W key and come over to the film border here and click on that. That will set our white balance, and then we need to either get rid of these film borders by hitting the R key and dragging them in, or we can jump into Negative Lab and hit Control-Alt-N. And if we select border buffer, Negative Lab Pro will automatically crop in the borders, so there's no film border. So we'll be keeping the color model on basic. Sources from a digital camera, because this is a digital camera scan. Pre-saturation is set to 3 at default, and we will hit convert. Negative Lab will do its thing, and now we're back to this positive image. We can tell this is overdeveloped because look how dark the borders are. Usually you can see this Braca holes kind of, which you can, but it's very dark. So starting here, we have all these awesome little adjustments we can do in Negative Lab. Let's come over to the advanced settings. That's where I like to start. And I just run through some of these drop-down menus to try to help make adjustments to the white balance and the color, which will be helpful because this image is overexposed and there's some color shifts. So let's run through these real quick just to see if making these changes will help with the white balance and some of the color shifts. So smooth, there's not really a lot of change there, and precise. There's not a lot of change with color, but it did add some more darks and blacks, which were kind of lacking. So I am going to leave it on precise. Process order, let's just see what happens if we shift to tones first. Not really seeing much of a difference. Let's check color density next. By default, add density is selected. Let's just see what happens if we hit neutral, density, and subtract density. Because we were lacking some blacks and shadows, I am going to leave this on neutral. That adds just a little bit, but isn't too much. Next, this is the color method. Let's just run through these settings real quick and see if any of these make a big difference. Looks like we're mostly adding shadow. I think I'm going to go with highlight weighted. That kind of helped remove a little bit of the yellow from the darks. Ooh, I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, we'll go with highlight weighted. That just seemed to kind of clear things up a little bit. Toning method, I've never really seen any difference in that, so I don't normally select that, but just for fun, we'll change that one. And the clip method, I've never noticed that either. I don't understand what that does. Everything else here in the advanced settings can stay, so let's jump over to the edit tab. If you need to make larger changes to an image, you can run through these presets here. I don't think they're really necessary for this particular image. If you have too much contrast, you can hit the soft lab soft. If you need to add more contrast, you can do lab hard. These seem to be pretty aggressive adjustments, so I don't normally use them. However, sometimes I'll use the linear gamma presets or the linear presets, but I'm not really seeing that to be, so this is how we can tell we're overdeveloped, because when I switch this to linear flat, look how the film border popped back. This is how the film border normally looks. You can see it. And if we go back to lab standard, it like basically goes away. That's how you can tell you're working with a very overdeveloped negative. Okay, let's get back on track here. So I am going to leave this on. I am going to leave this on lab standard. Let's see. You know what? So lab standard is still really bright, but if we jump down to linear gamma, that tones down a lot of the highlights and makes this look a lot more natural. I may need to add some lights back in, but that actually toned this out quite a bit. The only thing I'm wondering about though is we've got this kind of weird streak of light up at the top. It doesn't match that I didn't really notice with the lab standard so much. Oh, it's still there, it's just not as apparent because this is more blown out. So just for fun, I am going to try this on linear gamma. That added some shadow detail and kind of, like if we look at the before and after here, if we click on the little AB box down at the bottom, that's where we started, very overexposed in yellow. And without even making any adjustments to the white balance yet, we've already saved a lot of this image and we haven't even put it in Photoshop. With just using minor adjustments, we've made huge changes in making this image look better. Okay, let's keep working through some of this. I'm not going to mess with the sliders yet. I do want to keep adjusting the white balance. So I'm going to come down here to the white balance tab. Auto neutral is the default selection. So let's just run through a couple of these and see if we can get rid of a little more of that yellow. That's a little too blue. That's, what was that? Auto average. Auto neutral is where we started. Auto mix is adding some warmth. Let's see what happens if we do auto cool. That cooled it down quite a bit. It wasn't this temperature at Automotive Addiction. These lights are actually quite warm, but this is a tungsten film, so that's why it makes the lights look cooler. So this actually looks kind of nice, but it's a little cool for my taste. So let's just see what happens if we do Cine T, which is a tungsten. That's too much. Cine D, still too much. Kodak, too much. Standard. So I think I'm just going to keep it on auto neutral. I think that's where we started, and that's about as good as we'll get with that. The cool thing is we can come into the mids, highlights, and shadows and make adjustments. So we can get rid of some of this yellow here by dragging the yellow slider, or the yellow and blue slider, to the left. And I don't want to do too much here, because in Photoshop we can actually go in specific colors and pull the yellow out of the blacks. So I will do a little bit of adjustment here. I don't want to go too crazy. Let's see. And I guess technically we can pull yellow out of the blacks here as well. So let's do that, I guess. I don't want to go too crazy with it. I know there's still yellow there, but if we go too crazy, it loses some contrast, which we can add back in. Let's see here. We'll start with this, and we'll make more adjustments in Photoshop in just a bit. Curious to see what other colors we have. All right, so I'm gonna add a little, oh, maybe not. Basically what's happening right now is there's just not a lot of contrast in the black areas in the tire. So we can really see these color shifts. So we'll have to go back in Photoshop and add some color. I'm curious if I think I'm gonna stick with this for now. So if we adjust the mids, that kind of helps a little bit. So we'll just make some minor adjustments here, and then kind of tighten things up in Photoshop. But this does look improved. The tire does look a little better. It's not completely where I'd like it, but it's closer. Let's just double check to see where we started. Look how yellow that is, and look how neutral we are. We're a little dark, but that could just be from seeing the image so overexposed, but we're off to a good start. And we can add adjustment here. I like to do this in Photoshop because the adjustments are a little finer. Let's just see what happens if we adjust the black clip real quick. Sometimes adding black clip helps to add darks and contrast without making too much effect on the image, but it's kind of, as we click further and further up, you can see how there's color shifting going on. So I'm not gonna worry about that here. Maybe we'll just go with 2, and turning the white clip down is kind of adjusting the exposure. So I think what I'll do is leave that on 1, kind of brightens the image back up a little bit, because there was bright lights shining on this car, on this Countach. So that looks pretty good here. Sharpening, I always select lab sharpen. That just helps keep things nice and sharp. All right, I think we're done here in negative lab. Oh, let's just see the lab glow real quick. I don't really use these sliders a lot, but sometimes they can add a little bit of just, they can help tighten up an image a little bit. So I'm gonna put this on -3 and maybe like 2. Okay, so that's all the adjustments I'll make in negative lab. Here's our before in negative lab. Here's our after. We've made some big progress. It's not where I want the image to be, but we're getting closer. So I'm going to click apply, and then I'm going to right click on the image and send it to Photoshop. I did make an error before we send this to Photoshop. We need to straighten the photo, and to do that, we will come down to the transform tab, click on the guided upright tool, and this will allow us to click and drag along a line and level and straighten the photo. So I'm just going to click and drag along the edge of the film border here. Try to line up the bottom of the cross with the film border. Sometimes it's not perfect, but it'll be close enough. Okay, one more time here. All right, so now our photo is nice and straight. I've never figured out how to close the guided transform tool other than by using the crop tool. So if you hit the R key, that will close the guided transform tool. And I'm just gonna trim these edges a little bit. Okay, let's see. All right, borders look good. Now we can send this to Photoshop. So edit in, right click, edit in Photoshop. Okay, so once we're in Photoshop, we'll come into filter, click on camera raw filter. Camera raw filter is basically Lightroom in Photoshop, and I just noticed that I did not flip this image in Lightroom, so we'll have to do that at some point because our text is backwards. The reason I send these to Photoshop is because now our sliders aren't inverted. There is a way to fix this in Negative Lab so you don't have inverted sliders, but I'm sending it to Photoshop anyway, so I just do most of the tweaking here. For this shot, I do want to add a little bit more contrast. Not so much blacks, but just contrast to kind of give some more shadow. Not detail, but just bump the shadows a little bit, just darken the tires. So what we'll do is come down to our curves panel. We'll make sure the parametric curve option is selected. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of darks here and add some shadows. This kind of deepens the blacks and the shadows without oversaturating the image. The lights I'm going to push up just a little bit and the highlights just a touch, just to kind of keep the lights popping. Now that we've done that, let's just hit the P key to see our before and after. You can see we've just deepened the shadows and the blacks a little bit, but nothing's crushed. Exposure, I don't really need to make an adjustment there. Contrast, we may add just a touch. Highlights, we don't really need to do much there. Shadows, not so much. Same thing with the whites, don't need to do much there. I'll just add a touch of black. White balance doesn't really need to be adjusted at this point. We've already pretty much gotten that where it needs to be. Ooh, I may cool it off just a little bit. I kind of like the slightly cooler look. Tint we shouldn't need to adjust. Vibrance and saturation isn't necessary. It looks pretty saturated to me. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Texture, we'll add a little bit of that. Clarity, just a touch of that. Dehaze will help deepen the blacks a little bit without oversaturating. So we'll do that. And we'll come down to sharpening and add just a touch more sharpening. I'm gonna back off the detail just a little bit. That's kind of just a standard setting that I run on all my images. There we go. And we might be able to adjust some of that yellow out of the image here. Nope, not so much. All right, so that is the camera raw adjustments that we'll make. So I'm gonna click OK. Oh, let's see the before and after. So here was our image before camera raw. Here's our image after. There's not so much adjustment in the color, but there's more contrast and we deepen the blacks without crushing everything. So that looks nice. Let's click OK. And then I do want to make further adjustments to the tire, see if we can get some more color out of that. So to do that, we'll come over to the adjustments panel here and we come down to selective color. This will isolate specific colors and we can make adjustments to it. So what we'll do is come down to yellows and come down to the black slider. And now we can make adjustments to this. It will only affect things that are yellow. We can add black back in. So I think what I'll do, I'm gonna make a small adjustment here. Nothing too crazy. And then I'm gonna come down to the drop down menu again and go back to neutrals and blacks. We'll start here with neutrals just to see, okay, so we can see how this is affecting quite a bit of the image. Oops, we don't want 70. We want 0, there we go. I may not adjust that, I might just put like +1. Let's come down to blacks and see if we can get rid of the yellows. Okay, so that's adding too much blue. Let's see, if we do -1, let's just see what happens if we may have removed as much yellow as possible because like these adjustments, I'm doing very minor changes and they're changing the black areas pretty considerably. So I think we'll just go with this. Hopefully that's not too much. I can't really see it before and after here. unless we click on the little eye, the visibility, layer visibility. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that doesn't look like too much. I think that's good. That just deepened the black in the tire a little bit, and there's still some kind of weird color shifting, but if you've overdeveloped or overexposed an image, you'll get some color shifts and kind of be stuck with that. So, but I think this looks good here. At this point, the image just needs to be dusted. If you want to see a video on how I do that, you can click on this link here. So we have our Photoshop adjustments finished. I'm gonna hit Control S to save this and send it back to Lightroom. And we jump back into Lightroom, and we can tell this is our edited Photoshop copy because it now says edit.tiff in the file name. So this is the original photo. This is our Lightroom edited copy, and here is our Photoshop edited copy. Just jumping back in here real quick, I forgot to rotate this photo. So we will go back to Lightroom, come up to Photo, and click on Rotate. Nope, not Rotate, Flip Horizontal. And there we go. We can now see the Pirelli logo isn't backwards anymore, and it looks like I missed focus pretty hard on this shot. But overall, it looks good. Zoomed out, it's totally fine. That'll print well, and looks super clean. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Nope, not rotate, flip horizontal.